Hey everyone, Steega here, and welcome back to the growing city of Cumberland in City Skylines 2. In the last episode, we were building around the suburb here, and so I was hoping to extend up onto this hillside, but after kind of starting that and building out like one or two extra roads, the city started really suffering. As you can see here, these buildings were originally zoned in, but they've started disappearing as there seems to be a lot of problems in this area. So this house is only content because mainly high crime. This one has high rent and the high crime, unreliable healthcare, etc. So it seems like we may need to play through the city for a bit and see what services can be fixed. What I'm going to do is I'll upgrade this police station with a garage extension, but in my previous playthrough I found that was not enough. So we might also need another police station. Based on the coverage, I'm thinking somewhere around this side of the city, because the one in the downtown just isn't cutting it, and the police headquarters is way too large. Possibly I could put one on this town area as well, but I think for now it's best to fit it around an established neighborhood. So if we go here, then it's like on the edge of whatever commercial strip is going on here, and also on the edge of the industrial. So if we put it there, so that's one of the many things we've covered off. We also need another school. Even though you can upgrade the schools, I don't really want to upgrade them because I feel like 1000 is enough. So we have one on that side, one near the downtown, perhaps one in this new area. I might just put it down temporarily, and then when we continue building out this area I can shift it. So if we just put it there for now, so that should be just enough. And let's see what else. So healthcare, not great either. So I might go upgrade the garage of this medical center and see if that actually makes any difference. So healthcare. So healthcare availability, we're still within reasonable capacity, but I'm not entirely sure. Maybe another medical clinic in this area? Probably shouldn't put it right next to this industrial area, but I think I'm going to, just simply because it fits here. So if we put it on there, that'll take up that whole block. So that should now do it. So if we come back here, so it's a little bit orange here in terms of the health coverage isn't that great on this side of the city, but I was kind of expecting that. Nonetheless, it's actually done what it needed to do in terms of filling out the demand. Our population is gradually going up, but our households are going down. Jobs, we have about 10,000. Workers, we have about 7.5. And unemployment, we could do with some few more jobs, but okay, so that's the highest that unemployment's ever been in the city, so we should probably address that. I wasn't planning on doing this in this episode, but I think what we might do is start upzoning this downtown area to add a few mid-rise buildings. I might go for the European just because it's a little less prominent. So if we perhaps go like that, and then do much of the same thing next to it, just along this little strip. So we'll go 3 wide, we'll go 3 wide here, and just dot in a low density, because cities don't necessarily develop like super uniformly, so I don't really want to create something that wouldn't be super realistic. So we'll see what comes of this anyways. And what have we got down here? So I've got this building here, could replace this one and this one, and perhaps American style on this block, and we'll see what zone's in. So this is about the scale I was hoping, so that's like 8 or 9 stories, just eyeballing it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's about the scale I was hoping for the size that the city's at currently, but perhaps we can do a little bit more. So on this corner might be a good spot. There's that roundabout, so if we do, say, like this, then we'll go for the North American style here, and maybe a low density here, and another high density European one here. So this will just give a little bit of variety to the buildings. I might also upzone some of these buildings here to mixed density, just to vary things up again, and might do the same with a few of these, but with the North American mixed density rather than the European style. We have to see how this turns out, because they might be a little bit too tall for the scale of the city, but I'm hoping that it all results in something that's fitting. And then I might do a few more row houses around this area, just since we're zoning up the surrounding downtown. It would be good to gradually extend the density out further into these suburban areas. So I might go medium density building here on the corner, and then row houses along here. I might do 3 and 3. And then switch to the European and do 3 of that style. And same deal here, and then switch back to North American. This way it just shows a little bit of progress in terms of the city not being this low density area that it started out being. And rather than doing this right up front, I'd rather do it this way. Even though it's a bit more of an effort, just makes the city's scale seem right. Because if I did it all at the beginning, it just wouldn't feel right, at least to me, because you've got like all these tall buildings and you've got, you know, a couple of houses on the side, and that's the end of your town at like the end of my first episode where I built maybe like 4 city blocks or something. I think this will do for now. And what I might do is remove this industrial. I don't know how much that is going to break the balance of the city, but hopefully not too much. And unfortunately I'm going to have to leave that area for a while to recover from having that industrial there. So let's see what other parts of the downtown we can add some larger buildings to. I almost feel like this is too low, but I can't really change it without completely relocating it. So if we go mixed density North American, maybe do this one European, tuck a little shop in here, and convert the rest of these to row houses. We still have a massive commercial demand. I swear that the one thing about this City Skylines games, I swear they've never got the balance of commercial quite right, because I always find that there's just too much demand for the size of the city that it is. Like, already the commercial is like this whole blob here, which is actually a reasonable chunk of the current size of the city. And it's not huge, but it's enough. Plus we have some commercial bits sort of scattered all through the different suburbs and things too. So we'll see what we can add in here. I'm just trying to scatter in some medium density housing. Might also see what high density looks like if it's really small. Okay, that's too tall. Get rid of it, get rid of it. Medium density it is. You can tell by the height of the crane. And that was probably what I was expecting, but way more than what I wanted. Oh wow, the traffic's actually starting to become something. I guess it's because of these 2 closely spaced intersections, as well as there's a tram running through there. Anyway, back to what we're doing in building the city. I'm just expanding out some more commercial into this area closest to the river. I'm leaving that water tower there. It could probably go, as it's a remnant of where I placed it in the first episode, but for now I'm leaving it there. we'll come back to get rid of it later. Also splicing in some medium density row houses, residential, and a few other things here and there, like that one mixed use building, and then a mix of the low density commercial. And moving on to another area, I'm not sure exactly where this is, but just expanding out the row houses as sort of the interface between the low density and the sort of built up inner city area. And yeah, just more row houses. And then we move over to this one intersection that I actually quite like how it turned out, with various sort of medium density buildings around it, which is this one here, sort of to the mid top left area of the screen. I quite like the vibe that gives. I just put a few like low density commercial around here, and then just expanded out a few other bits and pieces. And so off camera I did a little bit more expanding of this downtown area. Now the city is starting to actually look like a city and not just some big flat small town. So we have a bit of height and height differences here. As you can see, we've still got the 3-story medium density residential, a few slightly taller buildings mixed in, and then some significantly taller up to like maybe 10 or 11 stories or somewhere around there. It certainly looks a lot more city-like than what I had here before. But I think for now this is a good place to wrap up the episode. But yeah, we have a little bit of height differences. I think now the traffic's starting to get to a point where sometimes there's actually like a noticeable queue of traffic. I mean, the roads are still coping, but it's starting to get a bit more significant. Plus this water tower here that I placed down in the very first episode, I wasn't sure what to do with it, so I just left it here for the time being, but I think it needs some relocation because it doesn't really make sense anymore. Anyway, if you go out to the side of the city and look back, you can certainly see that there's a bit of a skyline. Unfortunately, the chimneys from all the industrial kind of detract from that vibe a little bit though, but if you go up into another part of the city like here, then it's certainly noticeable. I mean, it's not huge, but it's enough for the scale of the city anyway at this stage. There is still, if I'm not mistaken, a massive commercial demand that I just cannot seem to fill. I don't know if this was because I've been neglecting commercial since I've built out all these suburbs so far, or whether there's something else going on, but in the future I might look into some mods and see if that helps resolve this, because I don't really want the whole city to just be high density commercial, if you get what I mean. I do actually want there to be some sizable suburbs that are vastly sort of dwarf the downtown and any other areas of the city. Anyway, I think that's it for this episode, so if you're stuck around this far, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.